Casey Davies is here as well. Casey, very good morning to you. Senior foreign correspondent at The Sun. The story, of course, that we're going to talk to you about, Casey, is the latest twist in the study, or the Jay Slater Tenerife story. Missing now for, what, third week, is it?
2 weeks now.
Yeah, so this is sort of entering the third week. The police have decided to call off the search, which is the latest kind of mad twist in this mad story.
Yes, that's right. So they announced yesterday that they'd no longer have like boots on the ground, people searching for him. The case is still very much open. Right. So if there's any more tip-offs, lines of inquiry, they'll still be looking into those. But in terms of the actual active search, that will no longer be going on unless something else crops up.
So they haven't actually found any trace of him at all, have they, at this point?
No, that's right. They've been doing a very extensive search, especially in the surrounding areas of where he was last known to be. Right. But they found no trace of him. And on Saturday, they did do what they sort of marketed as like a big final push, where they appealed for volunteers to come and help. As we understand, less than a dozen volunteers turned up to help. They scoured an area they'd already been over, but yes, they've found no trace. Right.
And his family obviously are all now mostly in Tenerife, I think. They're all, you know, hoping to see if something changes and that they can see some sign of life. But, you know, his mother's been asking to get access to the money that's been raised in the GoFundMe amount. I think that's about 35,000 or something, right?
I think it's up to 44,000.
Is it 44? Yeah, so people are still
45.
donating then?
Yes, very much so. There's donations coming in every day still. And yes, his family are all still out there. They vowed to continue the search. I think they've been left quite bewildered. They can't understand why the search has ended so abruptly after just 2 weeks. I mean, Jay went missing 2 weeks ago today, actually. Right. And they can't understand, as any family wouldn't understand, why you're no longer looking for our son. So they're going to remain there until
and I mean,
they get
if
answers.
he has vanished in the mountains, you know, there's not much chance that he would still be alive, I presume. But they've even had drones and things up, haven't they, looking for him in very big areas. Yes,
they've had drones up there, helicopters. They've had specialist sniffer dogs flown in from Madrid to help find him. But yes, they found absolutely no trace of him. But this Massacre ravine, it is so vast. I mean, it's 2,000 feet deep as such. Right. And there's also caves. You know, there's crevices. He could have fallen down. Right. So yes, police did say last week that if he has disappeared in the mountains, unfortunately at this point it's unlikely to be found alive.
Right. And I mean, one of the things that the family have said is that they feel as though the trolls have won, because they're putting out so many weird conspiracy theories about whether he could be still alive, whether there was any drugs involved in something that happened, whether or not, you know, his friend Lucy actually spoke to him more recently than she says. You know, all of these stories keep resurfacing, don't they?
That's right. Social media has been crazy the last couple of weeks. People making up their own theories, peddling these awful conspiracy theories, you know, spewing baseless claims. It's been constant. They've been hounding the family, just sharing awful comments. And, yeah, the family do feel that the trolls have won. Right. They've been saying so many awful things, and now the search has stopped. Right.
And, I mean, again, a great big piece in the Daily Mail today from Guy Adams, who's actually out there, you know, questions that still remain unanswered. Why did Jay try to walk out of Masca? Did he end up in a nearby town? Why did he leave the road? Where are his friends? Was he kidnapped? You know, it just, the list goes on, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's so many unanswered questions that we don't know if we're going to find the answers anytime soon. That's why his family is still staying out there. But yes, so many questions, as you say, Mike.
Yeah, and so, I mean, presumably, now that they've stopped looking, they're not going to find him, are they?
I mean, not necessarily. I suppose if there's a sighting or something, or, you know, there's a lot of hikers do walks through that area. To say they see a piece of clothing, then again, they would get people back out searching, and they are still looking into different lines of inquiry.
And you would think, wouldn't you, in this day and age with the sort of technology that we've got, that if he did have a phone, even if it was switched off and if it had run out of battery, there'd be some way of tracking that.
Yes, you would think so nowadays.
Because we're used to watching all these TV shows, aren't we, where they've got triangulation sort of masts everywhere, and they can go, oh, well, here's where he was when he made his last call, this is where he must be.
Yes, I mean, they had the location of his last phone call because it pinged a nearby tower, but then, as we understand, his phone died, so I'm not sure how much technology they have now to track phones if they've lost their battery.
If they've lost their battery, yeah. And again, British police have asked if they wanted for help, and they weren't asked, so they're not involved in it at all at this point.
No, they're not involved at all. Police in Tenerife declined their help, so I'm not sure if they'll offer again now that the on-the-ground search is over. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Astonishing story. Well, Casey, thanks again for keeping us updated. I guess we'll wait and see what happens this week, but it doesn't look good, does it?
No, not at the moment.
It doesn't, unfortunately. Casey Davies, senior reporter, foreign reporter for The Sun there. Thank you very much indeed.